The day the great asteroid GAIA shattered, the world was rewritten. From the heavens, millions of radiant blue crystals poured down upon Earth like fragments of divinity, sparks of something far beyond human understanding. At first, mankind saw only opportunity, a miraculous new energy source, power unlike anything ever harnessed. But the crystals were never meant to simply fuel machines. They began to reshape the planet itself, altering land, sea, and sky, terraforming Earth in ways no science could explain. And as the world changed, so did humanity. Something dormant awakened. Humans began to evolve. These mysterious shards were soon named the seeds of the gods, for the force within them transcended reason, an otherworldly energy that unlocked extraordinary potential. Some of the evolved gained powers beyond imagination. And with power came desire. Greed spread like wildfire. Many hungered for more seeds, more strength, more control. Darkness rose alongside evolution, but not everyone surrendered to it. From the chaos emerged those who chose justice over corruption, the first true heroes. And to prevent the world from collapsing under its own newfound power, every nation was forced to establish a hierarchy of protectors. Thus, the ranks of heroes were born. God-ranked heroes, the final guardians of Earth itself, standing against planetary and extinction-level threats. Gold-ranked heroes, champions of nations, called upon when catastrophe threatens an entire country. Silver-ranked heroes, defenders of great cities, battling forces that could plunge millions into chaos. Bronze-ranked heroes, street-level fighters in the shadows, holding the line against everyday crime and rising darkness. Across the globe, each land forged its own champions. And thus, a new era began. Present day, Citadel City, Liberty Nation, 30 years later. The towering metropolis of Citadel shimmered beneath the evening sky, its streets alive with the restless pulse of a world forever changed. At the edge of a sprawling construction site, the final shift came to an end. Akagon stepped forward, his voice cutting through the clatter of steel and stone. "That's it for today, man. Good work." The workers exhaled in relief, gathering their tools as they filed out one by one, disappearing into the city's glowing veins. Soon, the site fell silent, empty, all except for Akagon. He lingered, standing alone at the roadside, his gaze fixed on the horizon. Because there it was, a colossal bronze statue rising above the city's center, towering like an unblinking guardian watching over Citadel. A legend carved into metal. Emperor Black, the legend of Liberty Nation. Akagon exhaled sharply, irritation curling in his chest. Of all the places my project had to be, his jaw tightened. And right next to that statue, of all things, he turned away with a weary shake of his head. "I need a drink." The city lights flickered around him as he made his way to the nearest bar. A dim, crowded place, buzzing with late-night noise and restless laughter. Akagon sat alone at the counter, a half-finished beer in his hand. His eyes were locked on the television mounted above the shelves. The screen blazed with chaos, alien creatures, explosions, heroes soaring through fire. Then the broadcast shifted. And now to local news. The screen brightened. A glamorous figure appeared, smiling beneath camera lights. The popular celebrity, actress, and philanthropist, the beautiful Fiona Diaz. Akagon's gaze sharpened. Is opening the Grand Citadel Hospital today, funded entirely through her charity. The bar seemed to come alive. Akagon raised his empty bottle slightly. "One more beer," he muttered. Beside him, a random man leaned forward, grinning at the screen. "Man, she really is beautiful." "That she is," the bartender agreed, polishing a glass. A waitress sighed dreamily behind the counter. "And to think, she's just a few blocks from here. I wish I could go." Akagon said nothing. He took the fresh beer, downed it in a few heavy gulps, then stood. Coins clinked onto the counter. And without a word, he walked out. The city streets shimmered beneath neon and towering lights. Akagon stepped into the cool night air and lit a cigarette. He exhaled slowly. In the distance, a crowd had gathered. Spotlights carved through the sky like blades. The Grand Citadel Hospital stood like a monument of hope. And above it all, a massive screen displayed Fiona Diaz, microphone in hand, smiling warmly. Her voice echoed faintly across the boulevard. "Thank you all for being here tonight." Akagon watched from afar, cigarette burning between his fingers. Silent, unmoved. yet unable to look away. The ceremony was in full swing. Fiona Diaz stood radiant beneath the lights, her smile captivating the cheering crowd. Suddenly, a violent burst of static ripped through the speakers. The massive screen glitched. Lights flickered. The entire plaza trembled beneath a low, electric hum. Then, blackout. The city center plunged into darkness. Panic rippled instantly through the crowd. Security officers shouted into radios. "Power's out. Turn on the generators. Now." A moment later, emergency lights roared back to life. The stage returned. The screen stabilized. And for one heartbeat, everything seemed normal. Then, the crowd froze. Fiona Diaz was no longer standing freely. She was suspended in midair, wrapped tightly in glowing blue tentacles, twisting like living cables. Her eyes widened in terror. The coils constricted around her chest, stealing her breath. A scream erupted from the crowd. "It's him! Lord Tentacles!" People scattered in chaos, trampling chairs and tearing through banners. Fiona struggled desperately. "Help! Somebody!" Her security team surged forward, weapons drawn. Opened fire. Gunshots thundered. But the bullets bounced uselessly off the creature's slick, unnatural limbs. Then, one tentacle snapped forward. Its tip split open like a fawn. A stream of sizzling acid spat out, melting straight through armor. Officers screamed as they collapsed. Another tentacle crackled with raw electricity. A static surge tore through the guards. Bodies convulsed. Some burned. Others dropped instantly, smoke rising from their gear. A thick smoke screen exploded outward, swallowing the stage whole. And within the chaos, Lord Tentacles moved. Fast, silent, gone. Across the street, Akagon stood perfectly still, staring up at the massive broadcast screen. In the distance, Fiona's screams echoed through the streets as she was dragged away, still bound tightly in those glowing blue coils. Panic erupted around her. Fiona struggled, breathless. "Why are you doing this? Why me?" Lord Tentacles tilted his head, almost gently. "Don't worry." His voice was calm, too calm. "It will all be over in a few minutes." Fiona's eyes widened in terror. "What will?" Lord Tentacle smiled, and the tentacles tightened, just a little more. The city trembled. Fear spread like wildfire. Then, a sharp whistle sliced through the smoke. Something descended from the sky. A figure, a hero, with shimmering, insect-like wings unfurling behind him. The air itself seemed to freeze. Akagon stood a few hundred meters away, watching silently as the winged hero landed between Fiona Diaz and the monster. The newcomer's wings buzzed like a living engine. Akagon's eyes sharpened. "What the hell?" The hero struck a confident pose, pointing forward dramatically. "Don't worry, Lady Fiona." A grin flashed beneath his mask. "Cucurucha is here. You have nothing to fear." Fiona, still trapped in the crushing coils, gasped desperately. "Wait, are you a gold rank hero?" Cucurucha froze. "Not exactly." A nervous laugh slipped out beneath his mask. I only earned my bronze rank 2 weeks ago." Fiona's face drained of color. The last spark of hope in her eyes shattered. "I'm going to die today." Her voice trembled. Lord Tentacles answered with a guttural hiss. From massive limbs rose like serpents. One dripping with sizzling acid. One crackling with violent electricity. The street had emptied. Civilians had fled in blind panic. Then, the tentacles struck in a deadly pincer, lunging from both sides at once. But Cucurucha moved. His body swayed with an unnatural rhythm, as if he could sense every attack before it happened. Akagon's eyes flickered with mild surprise from afar. "Not bad." Lord Tentacles recoiled, irritated. Then suddenly, a massive smoke screen erupted, swallowing the street in darkness. Tentacles whipped through the fog like unseen spears. Fiona squeezed her eyes shut, certain it was over. But then, Cucurucha's voice rang out confidently through the haze. That won't work on me. I can see right through your little trick." With a snap of his wrist, a black, sticky slug-like projectile fired from his arm device. It struck a tentacle dead on. The limbs slammed to the pavement, pinned and glued tight. Lord Tentacles jerked violently, but it couldn't move. Cucurucha smirked. "Gotcha." Smoke still lingered in the air. Cucurucha straightened, wings buzzing faintly, chest puffed with pride. Like I said, Lady Fiona, you have nothing to worry about. Akagon's eyes narrowed. Idiot, focus, he muttered. Then, one tentacle released Fiona violently, hurling her like a rag doll through the air. Cucurucha's eyes widened. He launched forward instantly, catching her midair, saving her. But in that moment, he exposed his back. Lord Tentacles moved. Silent, deadly. It pierced Cucurucha straight through. His body stiffened. Fiona slipped from his arms, crashing helplessly onto the pavement. Cucurucha! She crawled backward, trembling. Watch out, he's coming. But Cucurucha couldn't move. Not a single muscle responded. Lord Tentacles loomed over him like a nightmare. Then, a massive tentacle slammed him against the wall like a warhammer. Concrete cracked. Cucurucha coughed violently, blood splattering the ground. Electricity surged. His wings twitched uncontrollably, sparks bursting from their edges. Lord Tentacles leaned closer. And now, let's see what's under that suit. A tentacle oozing acid rose slowly. Fiona's eyes widened in terror. Stop. Just let him go. Please. I will come with you. But Lord Tentacles didn't even glance at her. The acid touched the armor. The suit held for a heartbeat, then began to melt. Cucurucha's screams weakened, until finally, his body went limp. Unconscious, broken, Akagon stood frozen, watching all. His cigarette hung loosely from his lips. For a moment, he said nothing. Then his jaw clenched. Screw this. He dropped the cigarette. He stepped forward, his eyes locked onto a row of parked bikes nearby. Without hesitation, he grabbed a helmet off one of them. He pulled it on. The visor shadowed his face, leaving only his beard and jaw visible. Akagon inhaled once, deep. Then, he ran, straight toward the battle. Akagon stood firmly between Fiona Diaz and the monster. Beside him, Cucaracha lay crumpled against the wall, his suit melted, his body trembling, barely conscious. Fiona's voice shook. Please, just leave. I don't want another life lost because of me. Akagon looked at Fiona with a smile. That's noble, he replied calmly. He glanced sideways, faint sarcasm in his tone. I thought celebrities only showed kindness when the cameras were rolling. Fiona forced a weak laugh through her fear. Lord Tentacles' grin widened. Another fool. His eyes gleamed cruelly. This one isn't even a hero. He leaned forward. A beautiful woman really can make even a weak common man feel brave, I see. His tentacles crackled. Let's do this quickly. Akagon pushes Fiona out of the way. One electric limb shot forward like a lightning spear. No! Fiona gasped, squeezing her eyes shut. A blinding spark erupted across the street. The air screamed with electricity. For a moment, silence. Then, Cucaracha's eyes fluttered open. His vision blurred, but what he saw made his blood freeze. Akagon was standing, unmoved, unaffected. He was holding the electric tentacle with his bare hands. The lightning danced across his arms, but it did nothing. Akagon's grip tightened. Lord Tentacle's smile vanished. Akagon raised his other arm. His hand moved like a blade. He tore the tentacle clean in half. Lord Tentacles howled. Akagon didn't stop. Another tentacle lashed out, acid dripping from its nozzle. Akagon caught it, then twisted. The acid tip crushed inward, sealed shut. Lord Tentacles screamed again, staggering back. Before he could react, Akagon yanked. The massive body lifted off the ground. Akagon spun. Once. Twice. Lord Tentacles' limbs flailed wildly as his body whirled through the air like a helicopter blade, tearing up asphalt and streetlights in a violent circle. Then, Akagon stopped and slammed him straight down. The street exploded on impact. Concrete shattered. Akagon released the tentacle and stepped back. Akagon's eyes narrowed, and as Lord Tentacle got to his feet, Akagon hit with a strong punch to the gut. The monster dropped to his knees, coughing dark blood. Then, Akagon lifted his leg. A straight front kick. Perfect. Devastating. Lord Tentacles flew several meters down the street, crashing through debris. Fiona and Cucaracha watched in awe as Akagon walked towards them. Police sirens echoed through the city. Akagon froze. Oh shit. He turned sharply. Fiona blinked, confused. Wait, why are you leaving? Akagon pulled the helmet lower. The cops can't find out I did this. He pointed back toward Cucurucha. Just tell them the cockroach saved you. Fiona frowned. Cockroach. Akagon smirked faintly. Works for him. She stepped forward quickly. Wait, who are you? A slight blush rose on her cheeks. Akagon paused. He looked at her one last time, a quiet smile forming, steady, unshaken. With a single nod, full of unspoken resolve, he turned away and walked off like a hero, carrying his burden in silence. Fiona smiled warmly. All right then. She straightened proudly despite the chaos. Thank you for saving me, my bearded hero. Fiona hugged her arms to her chest, watching him disappear.